Have you ever replayed a conversation in your head hours later, wondering if you said the wrong thing? Maybe you remember a single sentence you said, and suddenly your mind starts analyzing it from every possible angle. Did that sound rude? Did they misunderstand me? Should I have said something different? For many people, this kind of thinking feels exhausting. It can make you feel awkward, overly sensitive, or like you're just bad at social situations. But psychology suggests something surprising. The people who overthink conversations the most are often the same people who possess some of the rarest and most valuable psychological traits. In other words, what feels like a flaw may actually be a sign of a very perceptive mind. So if you often replay conversations in your head, you probably have these 5 rare traits. The first trait is deep empathy. When you overthink conversations, it's often because you genuinely care about how other people feel. Research in psychology shows that highly empathetic individuals tend to mentally revisit social interactions more often than others. Their brains naturally try to understand emotional signals, tone of voice, and subtle reactions. Imagine you tell a friend a joke, and later you suddenly remember they didn't laugh. Most people would forget about it within minutes, but if you're highly empathetic, your brain keeps asking questions. Were they uncomfortable? Did I cross a line? Did something I said hurt them? This doesn't happen because you're overly dramatic. It happens because your mind is tuned in to emotional details that many people simply miss. You notice small changes in facial expressions, tiny pauses in conversation, subtle shifts in tone. And while this sensitivity can sometimes lead to overthinking, it also makes you someone who understands people deeply. The second rare trait is advanced pattern recognition. People who replay conversations in their minds often have brains that are wired to detect patterns. Psychology research indicates that analytical thinkers naturally review past events to identify meaning, patterns, and hidden signals. When you overthink a conversation, your brain is actually doing something similar to solving a puzzle. It's looking for connections. Why did they respond that way? What did their reaction mean? Is there something I missed? To others, it may look like you're worrying, but internally, your mind is analyzing human behavior. This is the same cognitive ability that helps people become excellent writers, psychologists, strategists, and problem solvers. Your brain is constantly collecting social information and trying to understand it. The third rare trait is high self-awareness. People who rarely reflect on their conversations usually don't spend much time thinking about how they come across to others. But if you often analyze your words later, it means you're highly aware of your own behavior. Research suggests that individuals with strong self-awareness frequently engage in reflection after social interactions. They ask themselves questions like, did I communicate clearly? Was I being authentic? Did I listen enough? This type of reflection is actually a key part of personal growth. It means you care about becoming a better communicator. You care about how your words affect people. And that kind of awareness is rare, because many people move through conversations on autopilot without ever stopping to reflect. The fourth rare trait is emotional intelligence. Overthinking conversations happens when your brain is trying to understand complex emotional dynamics. Psychologists describe emotional intelligence as the ability to recognize, interpret, and respond to emotions, both your own and other people's. And this process often involves reflection. After a conversation, your mind might replay moments to understand emotional context. Why did they suddenly become quiet? Did I miss something important? Were they trying to tell me something indirectly? While this can feel mentally tiring, it also means you're capable of reading emotional nuance that others might completely overlook. This is why many emotionally intelligent people become great listeners, counselors, teachers, and friends. They understand that conversations are not just about words, they're about emotions, intentions, and connection. The fifth rare trait is a thoughtful and conscientious personality. Psychology research on personality traits shows that conscientious people tend to review their behavior more carefully than others. They hold themselves to high internal standards. They want to communicate clearly. They want to treat others with respect. And because of this, their mind often replays conversations to make sure they acted in a way that aligns with their values. Someone who doesn't care about others rarely rethinks what they said, but someone who is thoughtful will naturally reflect. Could I have handled that better? Did I express myself the right way? This kind of thinking isn't a weakness, it's a sign that you take your relationships seriously. But there is something important to remember. Overthinking only becomes harmful when it turns into self-criticism. Reflection can help you grow, but constantly assuming you did something wrong can distort your perception. The truth is, most people are far less focused on your words than you think. While you're replaying the conversation in your head, they've probably already moved on. So instead of seeing your reflective mind as a flaw, try to see it differently. Your mind is wired for empathy, for awareness, for understanding human behavior at a deeper level. And that combination of traits is rare. It means you care about people. It means you value meaningful communication. And it means your mind is constantly trying to learn. So the next time you catch yourself replaying a conversation in your head, pause for a moment. Instead of asking, "What did I do wrong?" try asking a different question. What did I learn about people today? Because when you shift the focus from self-doubt to self-understanding, your overthinking becomes insight. And if you related to this video, there's a good chance your personality is full of other rare psychological traits most people never notice. Subscribe for more videos that help you understand the hidden strengths of your mind. Because sometimes the things you worry about most are actually signs of your greatest strengths.